The first card is an Ace of Cups. I have a Four of Wands. I have a Five of Cups. This is Seven of Swords. I have a Knight of Wands. I have a King of Cups. So for some reason in this month's readings, cups have been very relevant. I have a Three of Wands. This has been showing up a lot as well. I have the Empress. I have the Star. And then I'll pull the outcome card after the main reading. By the way, Virgos, happy birthday. I know that some of you started celebrating your birthday last week. So, welcome to your new this is your solar new year this month. So, congratulations, happy birthday. Make it count. So, a lot of interesting things going on here. For the most part, there are two major arcana cards in your future. And these are very, very nice here. You want to know why? Because the Empress, sometimes in relationships, relationship readings, I see the Empress as a third party. Another woman or something like that. But in some cases, the Empress might mean getting pregnant, motherhood as well. And I don't know why that was the first thing that came to me when I saw it. But it's right next to the Star. And so you should know, Virgo, and keep in mind, you have earth signs. Okay, you're of the earth. And so this Empress complements you very well because she's the goddess of Mother Earth, and she gives life. She's the center of the family. She holds the family together. She's also loved and adored. She's a wife. She's a mother. She's definitely a goddess. Okay? And so, yeah, she's all about the home. She's all about being a partner. She's all about the family. And so I kind of feel, especially with that Three of Wands, but for some reason this Three of Wands is this person's looking in the opposite direction here. And I don't know quite yet what that means, but this is definitely a card. These two cards with the Empress and the Star are indicating some wonderful things with the relationship, with commitment. And not necessarily specifically marriage and motherhood, but a reason for hope that, some of you might have thought a relationship ended, but some of you might actually, if you're single, you might actually find a partner. But it could also indicate that in the long term, a relationship is going to get serious. So for some of you, I wouldn't rule out, if you're wondering about the long-term prospects, for some of you, I would not rule out a marriage or a very serious relationship. Especially seeing that the Star, which is the card of hope, is right next to the Empress. A very strong message. In my opinion, that's a very strong message that's coming from the Oracle. And then another thing that I'm noticing is the prevalence of the cups. You have 3 cups and 3 wands. So fire and water, which seems to have been a theme for all of the readings this month. Fire and water. Speed. Fire represents quickness. It can represent change, transformation. Water represents emotions. It's fluid. And water can also change the things that it touches as well. Obviously, it kind of has the upper hand over fire. So this passion versus emotion, which I think is pretty interesting. They're not always opposite. There are moments when fire and water can complement each other because fire can be passion and water represents emotion. So, yeah, falling in love, that Ace of Cups here. And then we have a celebration. And remember, 4 of Wands, it can mean a joyous celebration such as an engagement, a happy event that you've been waiting to celebrate. But then we have a 5 of Cups, which is the card of regret. It seems as if buyer's remorse, that this happiness is falling in love, that all of a sudden there are regrets. Someone has lost something. Someone is maybe having second thoughts. So I'm not necessarily feeling this as your energy. I'm seeing this as someone who emotionally was open and available, but then there was a big issue, something I'm feeling out, that something that happened that was beyond your control, that had nothing to do with you directly, sort of affected this person, that maybe there was a relationship that they didn't get over. Now, when I come here to your present situation, I'm looking at that 7 of Swords here. And the swords can be about secrets. In some cases, it can be about dishonesty. It can also mean looking out for yourself, doing things that are for your benefit. And you're not necessarily out to help other people. You're out looking out for yourself. And so I see a little bit of secrecy here, not outright deception, but I see a story developing with this other person, another person with these cups here. And when I see this Knight of Wands, remember, fire is about change and knights go to war. The Knight of Wands is very intense. And yet I see this next to a King of Cups, that this person, the cups that I see related to this other person, I see them sort of holding their own, holding their emotions back in the midst of this very intense transformation or situation with the relationship. And once again, I'm not necessarily seeing something that's directly affecting you. For some of you Virgos, I'm seeing a situation that has a lot to do with the other person who might have fallen in love, who wanted to be in a relationship with you, but then things changed quickly. Okay. Sometimes with fire energy, a person who has fire energy in a relationship, they're there 1 minute, gone the next. Or they can be very intense and focused, but then their attention will go somewhere else. Okay? And they can change abruptly for no reason. And that's that quick fire energy, that transformation I'm seeing. So I'm trying to make sense of the fact that you have a Knight of Wands who's bringing change, who's bringing this redirection here. And then the story of the cups here with this person who is trying to hold things together emotionally, who is figuring out whether they want to be with you or not, or figuring out where they are emotionally as well. That I get the sense that this Five of Cups was about a big setback here. So secrets, transformation, and changes going on that you don't know about. This King of Cups, he rules his emotions. He doesn't let his emotions get out of control. He just keeps things tightly under wraps. And I think that's probably what a lot of you might be frustrated with as far as the relationship issues go. Okay. So that's when we get to the future, where I think after this other person goes through all the drama and change, that there's going to be some very interesting things that I think are going to be more positive for you. Now, as far as this Three of Wands, this is usually the card of 3 is always the number of creation. And it usually expresses the element, whether it's wands, swords, cups, or pentacles. It's the perfect expression of that element, because you have those two forces coming together to create a third. I still feel through my intuition, I still kind of feel that there's a reason why this person, this Three of Swords, this Three of Wands, is turned away from the Empress. And maybe it's because someone's attention might temporarily in the future be diverted. Keep in mind, the King of Cups, this King of Cups can also represent someone who's married as well, someone who's emotionally engaged, but yet, once again, the King of Cups doesn't let his emotions get away from him. He keeps things under control. I get the feeling that there's a person, the partner, whoever it is you're attracted to or attached to, this Three of Wands means that this person has some things to address before they can really be with you. And I think it also has a lot to do with this Five of Cups here. They thought they were ready, and maybe they're not. But the tarot is sort of saying, hang in there, because eventually this person will get it together. Now, that's just the bare general of what I'm seeing. Specifically, I think there's some of you who could be dealing with someone who's holding a secret, but then keep in mind there are certain degrees to where all of this stuff is happening with different stories and different situations. And so I think you just need to, one, just be aware that it's not you, whatever's going on with this other person. If there's someone who has commitment issues, it's not necessarily you. But it also seems to have a lot to do with this regret, whatever they feel sorry for, or whatever it is that emotionally they have not been able to let go so that they can move forward. It seems like this is what's going to, one, this is what they're holding the secret about or keeping the secret about. But it also feels as if this is something that might derail long-term plans for the relationship with you. And as far as this Empress goes, this idea of motherhood is still with me, that there's a baby or a child or a mother or a wife involved here. But nevertheless, whatever the situation is that's holding back or getting in the way of the relationship, it feels as if the tarot is saying there are other things that have to be taken care of first with this other person, but you should hold out hope. You should not You just need to be patient. You just need to detach for a while. So I'm going to shuffle for an outcome card here. But there's a thread of cups, and there's a story of cups and a story of wands that seems to be battling each other and exposing what's going on, not necessarily with you, but with outside circumstances that you probably don't know about here. So when I go through the wands, four of wands, the celebration, the happiness, this joyous event. And the Knight of Wands, that quick change, that turnaround. And then Three of Wands, turning your attention to a new future, a new direction, making long-term plans. Yeah, I'm definitely getting a sense that you're in the mix there somewhere as far as long-term plans. The star is all about that, hoping, wishes coming true after waiting for so long. So I definitely feel that, especially seeing that the Empress has stars in her crown as well, I kind of feel that there's a reason for you to stay optimistic, but you must also be patient. And I also feel that for you Virgos, don't try to control things, just hold your own here. But the outcome card is a Nine of Cups, and this has been showing up all over the place. And no matter how much I shuffle these cards and just mix them up, it just seems like there's one card that's destined to be the theme here. So the Nine of Cups is the card of happiness. It can be also contentment. There are meanings around having all these cups. For starters, it does mean wishes coming true. So the fact that it's following the star is quite meaningful here. The other issue is that the Nine of Cups, it can mean that emotionally opening up, emotional happiness, people being drawn to you. It can even mean more parties or celebrations. So I think that there's a story here that's emerging about being disappointed of a relationship that might have gone and moved forward and been very successful, except for the fact that this Five of Cups and Seven of Swords are indicating that there were some secrets. There were still some things that weren't resolved. This Knight of Wands in the center is indicating a quick change, being blindsided, something that happened quickly that turned things in a different direction that you didn't expect to. We have a King of Cups, someone who is emotionally, we go from an Ace of Cups to regret with the Five of Cups, and then this King of Cups is pulling things together here. And then it seems like in the future, there are long-term plans. There is a relationship that's slowly building, but it seems as if it depends on certain things, long-term plans, a change of luck, but also this other person just handling business and handling their business. They might be turned away from you. They might be distracted for a few weeks or a couple of months, but they are going to make their way back to you, which is why I think this Nine of Wands is showing up here. So I don't think you have cause to be depressed or hopeless, Virgo. Some of you might not have heard from someone for a while and you're not sure what's going on. I get the feeling that this person whatever happened, if it seemed like a short-term thing and you haven't heard from them, I get a sense that this person still has you in the back of their mind. It's just that there are other issues with this Seven of Wands and Three of Wands that they're still trying to get together here. So do not despair. I think everything's going to turn out okay. Okay, to certain degrees. Okay, so that was your reading, Virgo. And I want to give you a heads up about a new phone reading. I used to give phone readings for 60 minutes, but, you know, I had to sort of pull back a little bit. But I am offering my phone readings for 60 minutes. It's the Grand Romany Tarot Spread. This is a very traditional tarot spread, but it's a very thorough tarot spread as well. I posted a video in this month's playlist, so check it out. My hours are still somewhat limited, but I am going to be able to make some hours available during the weeknight for the month of September. So I hope you have a wonderful birthday, Virgo. Make it count. Enjoy your new solar year. I will see you next month, and I will see you on YouTube, and I wish you love and light.